From Plant Lab in Austin, Texas, this is Stacker News Live!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Stacker News Live. My name is Car with Carlos from Yopaki. Hola, amigo.
Hello, everyone. I don't know how to speak to a mic. I hope that this is good enough.
People that are watching at home, they're like, who is this guy? Carlos, actually, he's been working out of the lab. For about a good 2 months now? It feels like 2 months.
No, I mean, it's been barely a month.
It's been barely a month, yeah.
Yeah.
What have you been working on?
Getting the Yopaki app on Google's App Store and then on the Google Play Store, which has turned into a massive
more of a nightmare than the Apple Store?
Well, the thing is that they are difficult on their own level. So the App Store has thousands of guidelines, and then they have this God-given interpretation that they don't share with anyone till you actually submit. And then the Play Store. In the Play Store, they don't know that there are other countries and that they may have different IDs. Because I stated there, I am Mexican. The company is American. They asked me for my personal ID, and they're expecting me to upload an American driver's license. After 20 emails, they finally got it. They accepted it. That's fine.
Oh, cool. So it's going to happen then?
It's going to happen. Both of them are going to happen. Yes, finally, after dealing with all the bureaucracy, it's going to happen.
That's crazy. I didn't know the Google Play Store was that bad.
I think that they just have really standardized submissions most of the time, and they just go with the standard flow.
Well, that makes sense. Well, if you've never seen this crazy show before, this is called Stacker News Live. We cover the top 5 stories here on Bitcoin. We're going to first talk about Carlos's release that you released. You actually, I don't know, did you know when Keyan and EK made the territories that they didn't actually mean territories? They just meant like, because you have a country as your territory.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, what else was I supposed to expect from a
I don't
territory?
know. Maybe call it just Yopaki? No?
Why Yopaki? No, the whole country.
No, you want the whole country. Okay, gotcha.
No, I mean, it's actually a really great suggestion what they're saying. Eventually, when the user base grows and we want yet another channel to communicate, news, feedback, FAQs, etc., we will have a territory called Yopaki.
I mean, if the vision comes to fruition, if the prophecy is true, then eventually you'll run your own Stacker News territory at some point. It'll just be all Mexico stuff.
I'll call it Carlos.
You never know.
No, I'll call it Carlos.
But you're announcing today the Bitcoin Block Party Volume 2. What's this? I never heard of it.
All right. So have you heard of Pleb Labs Startup Day?
No, what is that?
So Pleb Labs Startup Day is how do you describe it, mate? Conference,
There's
get
talks,
together.
There's networking, there's builder
talks,
presentations,
builders presentations, startup presentations. It's going to happen in Mexico City.
Yeah, it's totally going to happen.
On the 19th of September at La Casa de Satoshi. More information on pleblab.dev. And that is a conference, a really formal and a strict event, of course, where everyone is expected to wear suits and ties. And then, the following day, at the same place, but this time in the evening, we have Mexico's Bitcoin Block Party.
Wow.
Volume 2, because Volume 1 was
the last year. I went to the one last year.
I thought you didn't know what this was.
Francisco actually came on the show to talk about it.
Was he? Did he?
Yeah, he came on Stacker. If you go back a year, Stackers go up back a year, you'll find Francisco at the Bitcoin Block Party talking about it on the show. Do you remember that, Keyan? Yeah, I see. Keyan remembers.
Okay, for context, Francisco is the CEO, my co-founder. And he's usually the guy that does this kind of things because I am just a weirdo in front of the camera.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, look at that. Boom. Safe area, it seems.
It seems, of course, it's a safe area. Not all of Mexico is it. It's gang crime and rape.
Well, so what did the stackers say? Typo in the title. The wall just got 10 feet higher?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Apparently.
Do you think that got 10 feet higher?
No, but to keep it brief and short, we are going to have this is a party. It's a Bitcoiner party. We don't need further justification other than keep on going with the good spirit that Bitcoin has accumulated, at the very least in Mexico City.
That's going to be fun, dude. How much are the tickets?
The tickets for people that live in Mexico, doesn't matter nationality.
$35
it's
bucks. That's not bad.
35.21.
0.21.
For people not living in Mexico, it's 49.21. This is the idea that, of course, bringing closer to the unluckily low Mexican purchase parity value, so that there are more Bitcoiners or people interested in Bitcoin that attend these events.
I will say this: the last time we did a Pleb Lab Startup Day, we actually reached the all-time high.
Ah, you mean the Bitcoin price? Yeah.
It was an all-time high. It was March 17th? No, 14th.
Well, I can't remember. I was asleep deprived.
It was March 14th. Yeah, that was the all-time high. And we haven't gotten to an all-time high since. All I'm saying, if you want to, there's a possibility we might hit all-time highs again by the time we get to September 19th.
Exactly. Or the 20th for the party.
Why is you were telling me a couple weeks ago why the date was important?
Not precisely the 20th, but then the 21st.
Yeah, why is the 21st important?
Because
in Mexico.
Not only in Mexico, everywhere, right? 21st, for instance, 21st of June, my birthday. It's the most important day, I would say. Followed by the fact that there are only 21 million Bitcoin, which makes...
No, September. I thought you said there was a date in September.
No, more like a black day, mate. It's the 19th of September of 1985. Mexico City got struck with an really, really terrible earthquake. Let's hope it doesn't happen.
Okay, so we're basically all-time highs or massive earthquake.
Either of the two would be fine.
That sounds good.
Yeah. For
cool. I've never been in an earthquake.
You won't like it.
Is it that bad?
If they are over 7.2 in the scale of Richter, yeah.
Will Godzilla and King Kong come out from the middle?
Yeah. The streets open wide, then magma starts flowing.
And then Kong comes out?
Yeah, all of that. We have it every couple of years, yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on the show, Carlos. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Where can they learn more about Yopaki?
So, Yopaki, of course, you can learn more in yopaki.com. Actually, I even forgot why we're doing this party. Not only for you Bitcoiners, but also because we're launching the app on that day. And it'll be available worldwide. Some features will be restricted only to Mexico and the US at the very beginning. And you can join our waitlist there to be among the first to download the app. And for the party specifically, you can go to our events tab or yopaki.com/events.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Perfect.
Carlos, thanks for coming on the show. Appreciate you.
Thank you, everyone. Hope to see you there. All yours, Keyan.
Great job.
Yeah, we'll have to do it there. Keyan, how was your week?
My week was great. I think there were lots of days in it.
Yeah.
Or the names of periods of time, they ended with day at the end, and there were many of them. I don't remember what happened this week. There wasn't a whole lot. But yeah, it was great. How was yours?
It's super busy, but it's fun. Got a lot accomplished, and
did you save America from communism?
Dude, it's funny. I was actually in a Uber today, and the guy was like, "Where are you going?" You know, because this is what Uber guys do. And he was
doesn't
like,
he know? Shouldn't he know where you're going? He's driving you there.
Well, they like to make conversation. He was like, I was like, "Oh, just go to work." He's like, "Oh yeah, work, money, bills." And I was like, "Wait, what?" He goes, "Work, money, bills."
Work, money,
and
bills.
I said,
it's like a new Rihanna song.
I said, "No." I said, "That's not what I do." And he goes, "Really? What is it you do?" And I said, "Work, change the world, money, bills." And then after that, he didn't say anything. He just stayed quiet.
Is that the order though?
You have to put the work in, change the world.
I see. The work doesn't, or the
work and changing the world comes before making the money. At least for me.
I'm just wondering what the order of work and changing the world.
There's not really an order of operations for this, Scoob.
Sorry for the question.
But yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to this week. We got a lot to cover. Seems like lightning's broken again. Maybe?
No.
Oh, it's not broken. Okay, cool.
I don't think so.
And then, we'll just jump into it. The top story is Bitcoin scam. Or no, this is not it. The second one will be it. Bitcoin scam uncovered. Get some eyes on this. This is from Ice Cakes. Zaps forwarded to long-term wizard. 33 comments, 11,600 sets. Keyan, what is this?
Yeah, so Ice Cakes was consulted by, I think, someone called Long-Term Wizard. Long-Term Wizard had created a paper wallet, a paper Bitcoin wallet on a website, walletgenerator.net. And they had been sending Bitcoin. I think they had sent roughly 1 million and something sats to this Bitcoin address that the site had generated for them. And then they went to go claim the Bitcoin, and they couldn't get access to it. So they consulted Ice Cakes to help them get access to the Bitcoin, because what they thought, because they had, as it's shown in the post, they had written down by hand the private key in hexadecimal, which is a terrible idea, and why we use seed phrases normally. But he thought he maybe made a mistake in writing it down, and Ice Cakes was going to help him try to figure out what mistake he made.
So for the stackers at home, real quick, what's a hexadecimal?
Hexadecimal is a way of representing a number in using
Binary form, right? Or
yeah, basically, a binary number, but really a binary is just an encoding of something. All of it is data, but hexadecimal is a way of representing data in using 16 characters.
And he did that for the private key?
Yeah, but this has, it looks like it has the letter Y and V in it and stuff. So
it looks like his handwriting got him screwed on this one. I mean, don't want to judge, but his handwriting
doesn't look
terrible.
like hexadecimal to me.
Well, the handwriting's terrible. Look at it. I don't even know what that looks like. Hieroglyphics off of a UFO conspiracy.
It looks like a medical chart. If you've ever seen a doctor's handwriting.
Well, did you ever see the Roswell? Did you ever see the Roswell? The newspaper, and then the guy's showing the thing. That's what that looks like. There, it's like the side of a.
Yeah, it looks like
the side of a UFO or something.
Yeah, it looks like some alien. Telling you something about the Trump assassination.
That'd be funny if all these UFOs that we see are really just funded by Bitcoiners, from the future. That's just their like.
That would be funny, but really, literally,
it's just in hexadecimal.
Anyone funding aliens to come back and like pretend they're being aliens to us from the future.
Maybe they're coming back for the Bitcoin.
Maybe that's what this is all about. It's to distract us from accumulating more.
Where's the aliens? All right.
Anyway, he couldn't figure out. He basically determined that. Or he couldn't figure out the right private key that corresponds to the address. But and I guess in the midst of doing this, the Bitcoin address was emptied.
Really?
Yeah. So what he learned was that this website was
providing
a scam.
Fake wallets.
It was providing fake Bitcoin addresses, the same 60, over and over again. And so whoever hosted the website, what they were doing was they were showing Bitcoin addresses that they held the private key to. Wow. And then giving the person who was viewing the website, who was going to send Bitcoin to it, they were giving them a private key that didn't correspond to it.
Could he have checked that if he knew what he was doing? Yeah. You would check that, right? Like you would check the derivation hash. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, but a lot of people, with all of our software, a lot of the software we use is from it's all centralized and, presumed reputable companies. And so they're usually pretty good about these kind of, scamming you out of $100. They're not going to do that because it would just cost them a bunch of reputation. But with a site like this, that you're just like,
how long
visiting?
When did that site come up? Did anybody do the research on the site?
These sites have been around basically since the beginning of Bitcoin.
Wow, dude. You know what? I have to say, I'm going to applaud the person that did this scam. That's a long play scam.
I'm not saying this site has been around that long.
Oh, okay. If
you go to the GitHub repo, I think it's like 9 years old.
That's pretty long.
That's the source, though.
Okay.
And it's possible the person who developed the website and originally hosted it and owned the domain let it lapse, and then someone just took it over.
Talk about like a long-term scam there.
It's not long-term, though. This is a short-term scam. You just...
Really?
Yeah. You just monitor all these addresses that you pre-generated, and you sweep the money anytime money.
But
gets
if you have the
deposited.
website just up, kind of like a honeypot kind of thing.
Yeah, that's not. I mean, that's not long term. That's just a honeypot. You're
I guess it would be a
trying to
honeypot.
attract whatever.
That's really
attract.
good, dude. I'm not saying that I am approving of this. I'm just saying that it's like well thought out from like a scheming perspective. It's
actually a pretty crappy scam. There was another. I mean,
it's crappy to be dealt that, but like you got to admit, like that's pretty.
Well, it's a very low tech scam. It's actually a very poorly executed scam. It looks like he's manually updating the site to generate new addresses periodically.
How else would you do it then?
You would have deterministic entropy. So every seed that you would generate would be. It would be effectively random to like the human eye, to like a human observer.
So there's a better way to
at a digital level, it's deterministic. You could basically easily with your computer generate all those addresses yourself again. And so that's an attack we've seen on a similar paper wallet site a few years ago. Anyway, don't use these sites. That's basically. But if you do use them, the Ice Cakes has some recommendations for you, but don't use them.
Yeah, this is why I stack her news, right? So you know about this stuff. You said, the top comment, you said, so the scammer was generating addresses that they had the private keys for, then giving the user uncorrelated private key. Excellent write-up. Reads like a mystery novel. Wow.
It was a fun read.
Bitcoin is Future said, steady lads, thanks for the recon. Oh, wow. Somebody referenced Bob Marley there.
Anon with
was that more like a redemption song, you think, Bob Marley look? Or is that more like a...
It could be
is that a We Be Jammin' Bob Marley look right there?
What was the comment, though? That's how I determined.
Oh, thanks for everything. I hope this helps other people. Oh, that's maybe like No Woman, No Cry kind of Bob Marley.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Were you ever super into reggae? Do you ever
Dude, no, but I love Bob Marley, though.
Oh, okay.
When I was a kid, I told you the story before. I had that girlfriend that got me turned on to all the...
She got really you turned on
to all the really good music, you know?
Yeah.
Like the Doors, the Stones, the Beatles, like Bob Marley, even like Tool, which I was never really a Tool person. I was just more like Deftones.
Why was she so cool? She have an older brother?
Yeah, she did actually. That's who lived in Austin. Yeah, that's kind of cool, right?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I used to listen to a lot of reggae. There's like Buju Banton.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, I was friends with a Belgian exchange student who was super into reggae, and he introduced me to a bunch of reggae. I forget the other artists though. There's a handful of them that are up there with Bob Marley in reggae.
Interesting. No, there's a couple of them. I think weren't the Wailers or the Wailers part of that?
There's some crossover people, but I'm talking the real deal.
Because I
realer reggae.
I want to say, and I could be wrong, so somebody correct. I want to say there was a label down there, and then after Bob Marley blew up, and then they would all just go to that same label that Bob started at. Because he didn't really cross over till he went to the UK, or he didn't really blow up. I mean, till he went to the UK. I want to say, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he was just a local legend.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Anyway,
I don't know about his history.
But yeah.
Don't use paper wallets. I've used them in the past. I've given them out as gifts. I'm pretty sure they're emptied, and those gifts are now sitting in someone's safe that have no Bitcoin on them. So
he used to roll his own joints. So maybe that's what he's saying. Paper wallets, paper, and it looks like he has a spliff right there.
Oh well, who doesn't? I mean, any real stoner rolls their own joints. Just gotta say. So of course, Bob Marley rolls his own joints.
All right, dang. Crazy post. There was an email that I got. Was it 2 weeks ago? Me and Jim were looking at it. It looked like were trying to reach Super. They sent it to me for some reason, but or maybe it was a proxy. I don't know. Whatever it was. I sent it to Super, and I won't say what Super said back, but it was clearly there was some sort of something like this.
Oh, there's a scam going on.
Yeah.
Were they trying to scam you, or
I don't remember. Maybe
someone?
Super can write it up, but. I just saw his 3-word reply and I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, this stuff is very common.
I'll show it to you after the show.
Okay.
I'll pull it up. Cool. The next top story is why happen forced closures on Lightning channels? ? This is from Darthcoin. Bitcoin territory. 11 comments, 14,500 cents. Keyan. What is Darthcoin complaining about this week?
He's not complaining. He's helping us understand why these forced closes happen, and why Darthcoin is particularly great at this is he occupies the space between a person who who isn't a programmer and someone who's very technically sophisticated at the same time. And so he has a lot of insight that both technical, like programmers would ignore, and then like non-technical people would ignore, but he occupies this perfect place.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's describing what's happening with these forced closes that we saw. A lot of people were on Stacker News saying, because a lot of people have been using Alby Hub, which came out recently, and they had they had forced closes, and because it's very early software, they weren't communicated terribly well. And so a lot of people were like kind of upset about it and didn't know what to do. But there was a huge mempool price spike, and a bunch of people who were running Alby Hub got Lightning channels they had recently opened forced closed, and then their wallet looked like it had no money in it, and they're like, well, what happened? So he describes what's going on here, which is why these abrupt changes in transaction fees can lead to forced closes. And he explains how Lightning works and when these transaction fees are negotiated, and why they can't get updated later when there are these fee spikes, like the condition under which they can't get updated later when there are these fee spikes. And when these fee spikes happen, if the channel partners can't update them, they basically assume that they're trying to get cheated, and they force close channels. And that's just how Lightning works right now.
This is a part of Lightning that frustrates me the most, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, the things that frustrated me about the early internet is it'd take me an hour to download a picture.
Well, I don't even see it that way. I see it more like how you would like sending packets over a network. Do you know what I mean? Like,
but it's not packets, it's money.
It's data, but you know what I mean? Like I see it more like on the what's the name of it? Not 7-layer TCP/IP stack. It's like more like UDP. Or TCP. I kind of see it more like that, and I don't understand why we can't get to a point where it's just. Is it because it's money that's stopping a lot of that happening?
Yeah, because it's not data. It's not data. It needs consensus between two. In the case of the Lightning Network, for a channel, it needs consensus. A lot of these things need consensus between two people, and if one of them is unavailable, you can't do anything about it. So it's not just the data transferred one time. It's that at any time they need to communicate, they can. And so, yeah.
Wasn't there? What was the other day you were talking about it with Nick about the bolting on channel? Was it channel factories? What did you guys say?
We're talking about channel factories. Nick is a huge ossification advocate for Bitcoin. He actually wants to go. He wants to regress Bitcoin back to a.
But would this solve that problem script. Or
no? No. I mean, this problem is theoretically solvable with some of the tools that we have now. They're just very complicated, very hard to do, and they're going to get rolled out. I mean, a lot of these problems we weren't really seeing until the ordinal stuff and fees started spiking. I think it was like roughly 6 months ago. And now, in this case in particular, there's like some new shitcoin thing that's like stake on Bitcoin and get your stakes in now because you only have so much time.
Can't they go back to the testnet? Weren't they doing that where they were just like selling stuff on the testnet? And
someone was. I don't know. I don't even know about this new protocol. I don't even know what they're doing, but it's like it's very crazy. It's scammy looking. Probably it's a scam.
Well,
that's what caused this fee spike. It's back to normal now because apparently all the people who wanted to stake got their stakes in because they had really high transaction fees.
Yeah, the top comment was from Bitcoiner One. He says, "Thanks, Darthcoin, for all the information. There's so many new concepts that I didn't know about, and I know this post's worth reading." Darthcoin says, "With so many reserves for the channels, I am wondering why the situation still happened. It really sucks, especially when you buy the inbound channels that are supposed to stay open for the time you sign the contract." Shocknet Justin says, as a practical matter, running a heightened risk of loss when you use an alternative implementation. True of Bitcoin and Lightning, contrarians learned a lesson in interoperability yesterday and unwillingly subsidized projects trying to play catch up by making edgy design decisions to gauge share. Maybe focusing on foolish crap like Blix 12 onion messages instead of handling the fee storms was a bad idea, question mark. Does anyone here actually run something other than Bitcoin Core, question mark? There is an example for BTCD, Limited Coin, Knots, Core Fork, etc. Cool if you do, and I'm not saying you should never. I personally use BTCD with Lightning stuff since LND is reliant on much of its code anyway. What do you think about all that?
I think his first sentence is right. Is that when your counterparties are using a particular implementation of the protocol that's likely tested with a sibling peer that has the exact same implementation, when you introduce a novel environment, which is a peer that they're not used to, like LDK, it increases the likelihood of bugs. So there is a heightened risk. It can be minimized by more cross-implementation testing. But I think that sentence is true. Some of the other stuff, focusing on Bolt 12, it says like we should be handling the implementation should have been handling these fee storms rather than Bolt 12. I don't think it's really like one or the other type of situation. So I'm not sure that's entirely accurate. There are reasons to do both.
Anything else there?
Bitcoin Core. I think it's been a debate over a decade whether we should have multiple implementations of Bitcoin Core or if the protocol really is the implementation. And it seems like most people have settled on there's one implementation, the protocol is the implementation.
At the end, he says, if it's not your top priority, just run LND. Do you agree with that, or you think? What do you think about that? Well, you run LND, don't you?
We run LND, but we're not shipping nodes to people's devices. And so I don't think, Zeus and Breeze both use an embedded LND. But I think I've heard rumors that Breeze is in their Breeze SDK is going to be using LDK. LDK is much more suited to, modification. And so it can be better in these contexts, but it's going to have this risk for a while people are using it, adapting to it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Keyan, dang, thanks for explaining all this.
Yeah, it was a fun fun post.
Thanks for posting it. Cool. We haven't done this in a while. You know what? Zap him.
Zap him.
Zap Darthcoin. He doesn't get enough credit. Gets a lot of shit. But he doesn't get enough credit.
He?
Yeah, all the time. I give him shit all the time too.
I feel like he likes a good shit throwing fight though.
If he's drunk, yeah, I think so. The next top story is BIS2 adds Lightning. This is from Super Tiasnia. August 18th, Bitcoin territory, 46 comments, 3,019 sats. Keyan, there's a part 2 to BISC.
Yeah. BIS2 was announced, I think, earlier this year. It released with one protocol, one trade protocol. I think it's called BISC Easy. And yeah, it supported on-chain Bitcoin. I think they added Liquid to it too, or maybe that's just planned. But BISC Easy is like a trading protocol where the security model is reputation. You don't need to put up a bond. That's not held. There's nothing held in escrow. It's very simple. It's just if the seller has a high reputation, you should transact with them, and you have to have I think they have some bar to where you can't even use BISC Easy unless your reputation is a certain level as a seller. Anyway, they added to BISC Easy the ability to settle in Lightning. So they were dealing, and BISC Easy was designed, the security model is designed for smaller amounts, so Lightning's actually perfect for it. And yeah, I think it's pretty awesome. Especially if you like that security model or you trust that security model in BISC, it provides an alternative to
whatever
something
happened
like
to their
RoboSats.
token they had. But they had like a DAO token, didn't they?
I don't think they have a token. Nerd to Ninja wrote a post about this last week or the week before. I believe it's like I don't think it's a token. I think it's like a multi-sig escrow with Bitcoin. I think it's some escrow. that they're running, and they have like a federated model. I'm not actually super certain of what they're doing in the DAO. They just I think you call lots of things a DAO. We call lots of things like zero knowledge proofs that are, they're not like a fancy complicated thing. They're like, hashes.
Yeah. Cool. The next top story is, how many books do you read a year? This is from Taft, August 20th, 85 comments, 1,118 sats, books in article territory. Keyan, how many books do you read a year?
How many books do I read a year? On average, it's probably like 5.
Really?
Which I'm kind of
pretty low.
I'm embarrassed by it, but I don't count audiobooks. I think people who say they read audiobooks, I think they're cheaters. I don't think that's reading. I think reading is a very specific thing where you're spending lots of time.
What if you're dyslexic though?
If you're dyslexic,
what if you just can't concentrate with words?
Read a book that's printed backwards. That's what I say. They translate books into all kinds of things. They can translate it into dyslexia.
I completely disagree, but let's see what the stackers say. Siggy47 says, not many anymore. I used to read a lot. I used to read for an hour or 2 each night before I fall asleep. Now it's 5 or 10 minutes and I'm snoring. So maybe 25 books a year. Wow, that's a lot. What else do we got here? I just want to say that I've always been a slow reader for who likes long books, so I've never gotten through them very quickly. Now that I have a kid, I probably only get through about 1 book per month. Maybe 20, 30 ebooks and audiobooks count. Space Handler. See, Jer says they count.
Some people count them.
Holler says, I read 30 minutes a day, no exceptions. This allows me to finish about 30 books a year. Best have I successfully developed, hands down.
I could put an audiobook on while I'm sleeping. And does that count as me reading a book?
Probably about 300. Still stacking after all these years.
Still stacking after that's a real reader.
I used to try to actually track my reading, but I inevitably forget to do it after a couple of weeks.
That's amazing.
That's amazing, dude. 300. I think that's the biggest number we have here. Natalia says, I don't really count the books. And sharing one funny story, I was talking with a friend the other day and I asked, would you rather spend your time reading something created by someone, maybe about 5 minutes or a few hours, or reading something that someone spent all their life to earn and reflect on? Wait, what does she mean by that? What do you mean? I don't get it.
Well, she was saying...
Wait, do you mean like just reading like one book written by a person? That's the only book they wrote? Or would you rather read like a blog article or a book that they spent their entire life, or maybe a blog article that they spent their entire life working on? I don't know. It doesn't matter the length. It seems like it matters the time. Interesting.
That was spent accruing the wisdom.
Kuroku says, I read many. I finished just a few. Interesting. Cool.
Yeah. How many do you read a year?
We're not counting audiobooks.
I mean, they say it.
Apparently to you, that's probably like 1, maybe, if that, because I'll buy like 1 or 2 books.
That's good. I mean, I'm not,
but I don't count that though. Like if
you don't count reading, you count listening.
So this is what I do. So I have an Audible subscription, so I at least get 1 book a month, but I tend to get like maybe 2 or 3. But I think you're right in a sense. Like I don't finish the whole book. If anything, I'll skim through it or get to the things that I need to grab from it. And mostly it's more about business and stuff like that. There are some times, like I was telling you about Dante's Inferno, like that one, purchasing, probably will buy that book. And so I get the read along with it. But when I was married, we used to read books to each other. And that's how I used to read more books.
Oh, you used to read books to each other?
Yeah.
Oh.
But I think I think now it's just like the audio stuff, Audible stuff. And then like I was telling you, like if there's a book, like Dante's Inferno will probably be like that 1 book that I buy this year, or 2, or second one.
I read a tweet that women really like being read books.
Whoa.
Too. Is that true?
I think you grow closer, because if you set a time at night, like 9 p.m. or whatever, and you're just reading to each other from 9 to 10, like it's a form of intimacy.
I hate listening to people read to me though. I hate it.
I love it, dude. Like when I was in school, that was like the best thing I loved about like grade school, is like the teachers reading to you.
Maybe why I don't like
following
audiobooks. Maybe why I disrespect them is because
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
like being read. I don't like being read to it because it's way different. They don't have I'm like they're not like in it. They're not even comprehending it as they're reading it. Oftentimes they're just saying the words, and it's not the same.
I think you have to find the right speakers, like Swan, like Guy Swan. Like he's one of those guys I can listen to.
That's true.
Yeah, I
But
think
he's
it
like
just
probably
depends on-
read the thing he's reading like 500 times or something before he.
I wonder how much he
narrates it.
reads. Surprised no one had tagged him on this. I bet you he reads probably like 500 to 1,000 books a year.
At least that many articles, I would guess, for his podcast. So I think, yeah.
But he's probably reading all the time, though. Do you know what I mean? He probably consumes books and articles like the way I consume music. It's probably just like he probably consumes it.
It's one of my favorite
that rate.
things. I just feel like I level up as a human every time I read a book. But I only read 5, so I'm at a very low level.
Oh, the other book I'm still trying to finish is the one that you gave me. I'm still trying to finish that one.
What was the name of that one?
Conversations with God.
Yeah.
Trying to finish that one. So I guess that would be 2 then. If I get Dante's Inferno, that'd probably be 2. Then unless I get to a third one. But in reality, I probably read like 24 to 25 books if I'm counting audiobooks.
Okay. Well, I mean, some people count it. I mean, some people there's participation trophies given out in sports. You can do the same for books. You can read books that you listen to. Why not?
EK.
It's Kamala's America. Yeah?
How many books do you read? Books. Five books. There you go.
Yeah, and German books are really long. The German language, it's very verbose. So they're probably very long books.
There you go. 5 books. The final top story is Fountain, open social podcasting powered by Nostr. This is from Mary Oscar, August 21st, Nostr territory, 45 comments, 75K boost, 4,888 sats, baby boy. What's this?
Yeah, this was cool. I saw this. But Fountain is a Nostr podcasting app now. And so all of your interactions, more or less, are now Nostr events that other clients can read in, and vice versa. So now you have, this Nostr as this cross-platform social layer that is embedded into Fountain. And yeah.
I'm just saying this. Remember we were talking about a couple weeks ago about somebody needs to go in the swamp and see if there's something there. I think
go to the swamp.
Remember we were talking about the swamp and how like some people have to go to the swamp. Like somebody has to go and see if it'll actually work. Oscar just did this, and I think he might have single-handedly saved Nostr because like it was not looking pretty there for a while.
Oh,
because the only reason I say this is because like if you look at the amount of zaps that have increased just on this podcast since he launched this, it's like 2x, just like that, just by implementing Nostr.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's
so if you
wild.
add the sat value to the overall Nostr ecosystem, he's funneling now those zaps through Nostr. I guess I don't know how that's working, but it's definitely impacted this podcast boost. So that's what I would say is like I think he just single-handed, and this just goes back to what we've been saying. I've been saying this for a year. I don't know why no one has implemented like a proof of work, like a social proof of work app. And he just did that. Instead of doing the whole, I mean, you could do the follower count and all that stuff, but don't rely on that. That's just the wrong place to be skating to. You should be focused on like, how do we get like proof of work social in there? And maybe I just haven't really explained it correctly, but to me, it's completely obvious that, I don't know, man. I think he's just, sorry. Big fan of Oscar and Fountain.
Oh yeah, they're doing great stuff, and I think this is great.
It's huge.
And this is
It's humongous.
This is the product. This is like what a protocol does. Is it every new thing that's attached, even if it's at the edge, it accrues value over time, and so that's kind of
This is humongous, dude. Massive.
Very cool.
Because if this works, I think somebody said though that it crashed one of their things though, or it's been crashing. So I mean, it's still early.
Oh, well, it's just software. It's
Still
not,
early,
It's
yeah.
not
But-
it's not crashing their life. It's
but
crashing an app
it's
on their phone.
it's really interesting. Really, really interesting for a lot of reasons. When I saw this, I was literally thinking, I was like, wow, he just might have single-handedly saved it. Because I don't know if anybody was coming up with new ideas over
Well, that's
there.
the thing. I don't think it single-handedly saves it. There's no over there either with Nostr. It's kind of everyone, but I think this is what happens: is you get newer players. I've been watching the progress on the Get client. That I forget his name. I think his name is Zach. He's been
Working on that.
who's been working on a Get client, or that might be the wrong founder. I might be confusing him with Flame.pub. But anyway, great progress on the Get Nostr, GitHub Nostr replacement thing. That's the kind of stuff that I think really will win the day. Things that are like leveraging the did, leveraging
The users,
leveraging
the users,
leveraging the key pair.
users and the zaps. That's all that matters. Users and zaps. That's all that matters. Everything else you can throw away. But yeah, legendary release. That's what I said. Gola said, Stacker News adding a lot of new things to my mobile. Found is going to be another now. Thanks, Stacker News. Thanks, Mary Oscar. Listened to a lot about Fountain and Nostr, and your post has confirmed that they are for everyone. I'm very new at Bitcoin, so I'm learning my way in. Unbelievably impressive work from a discipline. Dead Beef says this looks amazing. Satoshi Nakamoto said, since a couple months ago, I started using mobile app. This is the best podcasting app because you earn Bitcoin by listening to podcasts.
Oh, heck yeah.
Telling you, dude.
I love that. I love hearing stuff like that.
Yeah. Any other thoughts?
No, I'm very excited. I've been using the Fountain app still. I've never really engaged much with the Nostr things. I think Oscar told me to wait until this release came out to really start doing social. I think because this like completely replaces the old social.
I think I might just start posting just on Fountain then.
That would make a lot of. I mean, that's actually
of-
makes a lot of sense for someone who, is a podcaster who does a lot of podcast
Yeah,
stuff.
that actually makes more. I probably think I'll just do that. I'm going to try that for this next week. But yeah, dude, I still need to set all my stuff up, but it's amazing. And you could tell it was like almost immediately. I was like, what changed? And there was, when I saw this post, it's like, oh, that's what changed. But I know people were testing it. And then, yeah, we saw him in Nashville. I didn't get to see the demo though, but super bullish, dude. Super bullish. I feel like this is the way, man. I feel like he's leading the way on the Nostr front. At least right now, it feels like. Anyways. And I think that's all the top 5 stories of the week. We're going to jump into my favorite part of the pod, which is Keyan's post. Keyan, what's this? Pseudonyms lets you practice agency? Yeah,
I thought this was great. And what was nice is this is a Henrik Carlson. I've become quite a fan of Henrik Carlson since Elvis Mercury started sharing his Substack posts. But this one is about pseudonyms and is great for Bitcoiners who tend to, I feel like, have a disproportionate number of pseudonyms online. We're very a pro pseudonym community. This post is explaining like the purpose, like what the purpose of a pseudonym is and why you might want to have a pseudonym. And I think it does it really well. I think it gets right to the like the base of it, the core of it. And it's that you're expressing yourself without any of the kind of guardrails that you put on your normal self. You aren't encumbered by the pseudonym that you were given at birth by your parents and the way that was loaded with responsibilities and expectations and all these things. And you can just kind of explore what it's like to be independent of that. And that's what a pseudonym gives you. And that's kind of what he expressed here. There were lots of he shared some really cool links to like, this is what games do. This is like perhaps the primary value of games is that you get to explore your agency and a character in a new environment. You're basically a pseudonym as a character in a game.
I think it actually works. I mean, it's very similar to like bands and like people like David Bowie and like Ziggy Stardust and all that kind of.
Yeah,
it's very similar to that. It's just
a character.
It's a character.
Yeah,
at least in the real world, that's how it looks like in the real world. world. But I guess in the digital world, it makes more sense.
He describes his own process of as a writer. He like thinks, even though he writes under his own name, he tries to think of his own name online as being a pseudonym, so that he gets the benefit of being able to like maximize his agency. Very cool post.
Natalia said she had the top comment, or no, hang on, let me see who had the top comment. Oh, Plepo had the top comment. She said, I was just thinking this morning about inventing a new nym and practicing an entirely different voice. Would be hard, but a fun puzzle perhaps. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that'd be great. I think that especially for someone like Club Poet who writes a lot, exploring different voices or personalities or whatever, that's probably of great benefit.
I got Ken. He said, this is so true. How am I supposed to focus on anything when I'm focused on being Ken?
Well, I don't know if Ken is your sued or your nym, or is it something else?
Gray Ruby says, I think different nyms could be windows into different aspects of our personality. I also think we interact differently on different platforms. Second News is always positive discourse for the most part. Other platforms, not so much. I don't know. I haven't never really thought of nyms too much since like first coming into Bitcoin, because I used to use a nym.
You use it.
But now I don't use a nym. No, I don't.
But Car is a nym, isn't it though?
Isn't it though?
I mean, who names their children Car? We all know that. No one names their children Car.
Cascader said Coob is just playing 64D underwater backgammon, has 3 nyms with 100K followers. I could see that.
I don't have nyms.
I think you do.
I mean, that's what I think any good person who has a lot of nyms would not acknowledge their nyms, but I do not have.
I think I know one of them too, but I won't say. I won't.
Really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious because I don't have any nyms.
We'll see.
All right, we'll see. Time will tell.
I don't have any nyms other than
I'll reveal all my nyms when I'm
other
dead.
than those 2 I have, just Thriller X and then Car. That's it. Those are the only 2 I have on Stacker News.
And blah blah, it's like a joint account, and I think you have some other ones.
But I would say like those 2. Try to keep it real.
Try to. You slip up.
If anything, I know I slip up and say too many real things. If anything.
Oh, you stay in your lane too much.
No, I get my foot in my mouth too much. Definitely.
Really?
I think so. I think I do that a lot. At least that's the feedback I get. Cool. Anything else you want to talk about this or?
No, I just think it's awesome and I think it's cool.
Next one was my letter to the Libertarian Institute. This is from Undisciplined. I didn't know he was a libertarian.
Oh, well, you must have never read anything from Undisciplined before, because he's pretty vocal, a pretty vocal libertarian. Yeah, but he says here, rather than fiat mining, he's had an epiphany about needing to work for a cause he believes in. And I thought that enough is, it could be anything. It could say, I'm gonna become a nurse. But I love that being an epiphany that he had. I wish that for many people. Just because I think it is really, I think it changes a person's life for the better in so many ways. Oh,
I would say the grass is not always greener on the revolution side. If that's what he's after.
Well, maybe he doesn't care about green grass.
Or the grass isn't always, the road isn't always paved. Maybe is the better way to put it.
I don't think he needs the road to be paved.
But he says right there, the very first line says, I had something of an epiphany recently about needing to work for a cause I believe in. Yeah. That sounds like he's looking for, or maybe I'm reading too much into it. Or maybe I'm projecting my own.
Yeah, I don't even know what's happening anymore.
Who knows?
Anyway, it says,
I'm sure he'll clear it up in the comments.
He's been fiat mining, and he's like, I want to work with libertarians for libertarian causes. And so this is his first standout. He's going to send a letter to the Libertarian Institute. Most
of the libertarians I know here in Austin are very like crypto-ish. So temper expectations there. And the second thing I would say is you'll see a lot of Moneros. Moneros is what I call them.
Moneros, is that?
Moneros.
I see.
You see a lot of those walking around.
Well, that's kind of, I think that's part of his point, is that there isn't in the Bitcoin space, there aren't many very strong libertarian voices advocating for libertarian causes. They're, sort of adjacent, sort of, it's kind of melted with other things, but he would be a very strong economic libertarian voice is what he's saying.
No, I feel like what's his name's a very vocal libertarian. What's that guy's name? Gosh, what's his name? He's like one of my favorite scammers. He just released that stupid AI project and selling a token.
Voorhees.
Yeah, Voorhees. Yeah, he's like so good.
Yeah, but this isn't when he's
like a big time libertarian.
Okay, but he's talking about he's doing it for Bitcoin and not. You're talking about a bunch of libertarian scammers, and he's basically saying he would like the libertarians to be have a more prominent voice in Bitcoin.
That's not going to happen.
Okay, well, you heard it from, I guess, just pack it up, Undisciplined. Your dreams are over.
Definitely.
Car.
Definitely over. I wouldn't waste your time.
I don't think, I wouldn't listen to Car at all.
No,
actually.
I'm serious. I don't mean it in a bad way. Remember those people
I don't care what way you mean it. Go work for the Libertarian Institute.
I'm getting the look that cars don't do that.
I don't know what you're talking about. I mean,
you remember those
negging something you haven't even.
Well, based on my experiences dealing with those people here in town, they're not what that is. That letter, that's a letter I could get behind. They're not that. They're crypto, and
his letter isn't written to libertarians, any libertarian on earth. It's one group of libertarians that he respects because he reads all of their work. So he knows who they are.
So only Bitcoin libertarians is what he's saying.
They're not Bitcoiners. These people aren't Bitcoiners yet. His goal is to help them understand Bitcoin and help them have a voice in Bitcoin.
I think I said everything I need to say. Athena said, good luck. Letter is well written. So there you go. Crypto Sensei says it's always hardest to take the first step. So kudos to you. I might include a footnote, which comprises a link to one of your Second News postings. In the event that the fine folks at the Institute haven't heard of Second News, they get to know of your writing too. My 2 sats worth. Just put said thanks. That's a good idea. I am Seco says, great. You're setting yourself up for a noble cause. The letter's fantastic, and you can bracket your real name after Dr. Undisciplined, which makes more sense rather than omitting it completely. Best wishes and looking forward to your new expedition. Yeah, I would say keep us updated.
Yeah, I mean, I like the mission statement there, regardless of what happens with the Libertarian Institute specifically. I think moving towards work that you feel good about in addition to getting paid for is the right direction. It's like you want where those things line up. That's where you begin really feeling like you're on fire as a human being, in my opinion.
Good stuff. Keep us updated. Don't let me discourage you.
Yeah, that's right. Don't let them discourage you at all. I'm so upset, man. Don't you just like negging it? I was like, why?
Dude, I'm just telling you, like this, remember I told you earlier, foot in my mouth? This is my foot in my mouth. But I don't care. It's the truth. This is what I've seen and believe it.
But it's your truth given a little bit of what you know about this. Like you haven't read the post. You read like 2 words in this post and you're like,
you summarized it for me. Did you not read it? Did you not read the post? You summarized it for me. Did you not summarize it correctly?
You're not putting your foot in your mouth. You're just assuming you know something before you do.
It's not assuming. I lived it. Okay. Dude, do you not remember that lady that came by here last?
I know you have experiences like this. I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying.
When I was working with Marty, we even had the lady who runs the Institute thing.
What institute? Is it this space?
The Libertarian thing.
What Libertarian thing?
I have to look it up. Anyways, I'm not going to say what you said behind the scenes, but dude, it's like this, and reality is not.
It's maracas. What is that?
Yeah, maracas. It's a lot of LARPing is what I'm trying to say, and good luck trying to find the real ones that are actually doing it. I think the real ones are actually trying to find them. I think the real ones are actually just keeping quiet and living out it, kind of like Darth Coin. I don't know if he's a libertarian, but somebody like that who's just living it.
Darth Coin's an anarchist.
Oh, that makes sense. But somebody like that. Anyways, don't let me discourage you.
Yeah,
I feel better.
I think this is
not me negging. Maybe me
to the extent that Car is right, there is a version of this that is bad, which is where you ignore kind of what's valuable and you just do what you feel is right, and then that can get you in a weird place. But knowing Undisciplined is a rational, smart person, that's not where this kind of thinking ends up for him, because he will simultaneously pursue something pragmatically while doing something that is uniquely rewarding for them.
Yeah. I don't know. I think this is pretty good. The next one, this is my fun one for the week. Cameron's World, a love letter to the internet of old. And check that out. Isn't that cool?
That's rad.
Dude, I was watching something the other day and they were talking about like MySpace and they're like, they should just bring it back. It worked. It helped bands. And when I saw this, I was like, yeah, somebody should bring back GeoCities. It helped small businesses.
Did it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It was funny.
Yeah, I love this aesthetic. I mean, but it's all, I wonder if
would you ever do Stacker News this way?
I did some of that stuff with Outer Space.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Where
bring it
I
back.
was going deep on the like fantasy kind of like working.
Oh, is that Agent Scully?
We do a little bit of this on Stacker News already with like the lightning animation.
Dude, X-Files websites were all over the place as a kid. Do you remember that?
No.
I remember that. They were like they were like what Bitcoin was in the 90s for the internet. Everybody's just talking about it.
X-Files was the original Bitcoin?
Yeah, Mulder and Scully were like the Satoshi and the Halfins.
Wow.
I'd love to see it. Look at this. I don't know what that is. A seal?
It's a seal.
Dolphins.
I love it. And it's like not laggy.
Wow.
It's just like running.
Look at that, dude. This is not laggy. What is this? Is this JavaScript or what is this? HTML? Are these GIFs?
They might be GIFs. They might. I wonder what they are.
This is not Flash, right?
No, I don't think they really used a lot of Flash in this era of the internet yet. That was a little later when that's what really destroyed the internet.
It's getting dark now. Look at this. Yeah, see?
Welcome. Which
dear internet
Dante's
person, please
Inferno,
enjoy it.
Which level of hell is this?
This is probably the first circle of hell, I would imagine.
Okay.
Look at that. Oh, that was MIDI too. Do you remember downloading MIDI tracks? This is before Napster.
I've heard of MIDIs.
They were just like MIDI songs of the actual song.
Very short.
But it was just like
on the internet. Yeah, it's what would play on websites.
Yeah, see it right there. Look. Dedicated to Spock. Oh, yeah, that's a lot. I used to see those all the time. Did you put one of these up when you started Stacker News, under construction sign?
No, I just launched it. I launched it while it was under construction, just like exposed pipes and stuff. Like one of those like modern buildings, like here, where it has all the pipes and air ducts.
These iframes scroll. Ugh. Hey, scroll. Anyways, comments from Athena said the old days were very good. Everyone misses those days. As do I. Cool. That's all the stories that we have for this week. Let's jump into the top snackers.
We also had a James Lavish.
Oh, yeah. Hey, everyone. Some of you may know.
That was like the real top story. Then we had some meta where we released some stuff, but you can look at that.
Who's James Lavish?
James Lavish, he was ex-hedge fund guy.
From where?
I think I don't
Canada?
know. I think everyone's from Canada that I don't know very well. He was hedge fund. They probably have in Canada. And then
did he just get
now
a Bitcoin?
He does the Bitcoin Opportunity Fund.
Did he just get into Bitcoin this cycle?
No, I don't think so. I think he's been in Bitcoin a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's probably one of the better voices in like macro Bitcoin. And he speaks a lot to that stuff.
Wow. Thanks for coming down and talking to the plebs, the stackers. Awesome. Love to see it. Check it out, stackers.
I don't think he's actually isn't Canadian. He was at New York Stock Exchange. And then he was in Texas for a long time. So I'm super wrong. But he says he played hockey at Yale. So it's like that's what made me think Canada, I think.
Oh, he has cowboy boots. Okay, there you go. That's enough. That's all I needed to hear. Where's the stackers? There we go. Top stackers of the week. Undisciplined. Santasora. Cube.
Oh, wow.
Gray Ruby.
Santasora.
Rsync.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
The best segment in Bitcoin. There's never been a better segment. Literally he went from worst segment to the best segment, and that's the cowboy segment. Boom.
Boom. Look at that. Wow. Look at how best this is.
The very top.
Feel how best.
The very top, we all know who that is. Second, Cube. Bitcoin is the future. No, I definitely know. Bitcoin is the future.
Yeah, we got Undisciplined 117, Blockchain Boog.
Blockchain Boog. I had to mute him.
Why?
I had to. He was nutting all over the Stacker Salute. So don't like that on my feed.
What does that mean, though?
It's some weird Nostr.
Oh, his e-nuts.
Yeah, it was just gross.
Right.
I couldn't.
Sorry, Blockchain Boog.
Sorry.
I was very anti-e-nut.
No, it's just gross to look at. Like it's not even as pleasant as the Cameron's Road that we just saw right now. It's worse than that. So I had to mute him. I love Blockchain Boog too. It's one of my favorites. Sorry, Boog. What else we got?
Called Blockchain Boog a pervert.
Wait, what?
Nothing.
I told EK about it. He agreed. He's like, yeah, you should mute. That's what he told me this week. The mute actually works really well in Stacker News. It doesn't work too well in Nostr. I muted the chat bot too. It was just getting annoying as well.
Yeah, I don't get to.
I want to mute Frenzy lately.
Thanks, God.
Have you not muted anybody on Stacker News? I even turned off my Wild West. I even turned on my Wild West.
I don't mute anyone because I need to be exposed to everything.
It's not worth it.
So that I know if I need to fix it.
Mute it all. Mute it all. Anyways. Bell curve. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
Keyan.
What else we got?
What do you do this weekend?
Oh, that's right. We have a big picture now. I am going to.
Oh, yeah. Where are you going?
Home. I'm going to be at home. I'm going to be working at home.
Nice.
I didn't do my Start 9 embassy.
Oh, you did it?
No. So that'll be my next thing this weekend. And then I want to make our Stacker News node better.
Better than it already is?
Yes. I want it to be like nuclear bomb proof type of deal. Anyway, that's what I might do. How about you? What are you doing this weekend?
Let me read these comments first. We got Open Mike said, knocking boosts. PS says, booyaka, booyaka, booyaka.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I know what booyaka Shah means, but PS also said, G's up, let's effing go. Beers, mushrooms. That looks like smoking. Fist pump, 100%. P says, high and drunk and drunken high, question mark. Or drunken high. Vake said, peace. PS says, boom, boom, boom. Blockchain Boog says, run a ClearNet node. And WC with AlbiHub makes it very easy for me to zap on Damus.
Sweet.
There you
That's
go.
Cool.
Boog said it here first. Ray Ruby, boost. And yeah, look at that. This weekend, I have to do something with the Brotherhood tomorrow, so probably be doing that. Then I'll probably come in and finish some work. I got a lot of work to do, dude. There's just so many things. Like, you should see my list. Do you run off a list, or how do you do your stuff?
I run off a list for things that I don't want to do. But things I do want to do, I don't really have a list. But things I don't want to do, I need a list because I'll forget them.
Yeah.
I have to fight myself.
Yes, I got a lot of stuff
you
like that.
have a big list?
Yeah, a lot of stuff. I got Coins Reporter said, I also wanted to laugh when I saw Stackers suggest to start territory India, where people should talk in Hindi.
Dude, if you guys want to. But I don't know if there's a lot of zappers for India yet.
Philip McComb says, we just hosted Chase Oliver last night. What's that in reference to?
Who's Chase Oliver? Do you know who Chase Oliver is?
Said, I'm the acting chair of my counterparty. Oh, maybe start with the libertarianism stuff.
Oh, cool.
There you go.
Maybe Chase Oliver's
maybe he's a Bitcoiner. I got Coach Reporter. I'm on the 5th place there, hiding in the dark. Doxed.
Ooh, yeah, just outed himself. Bruh.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be a good week. Got Labor Day coming up.
When?
So last week of August.
Last week of August is Labor Day?
Yeah, Labor Day weekend's next week.
Are you going to labor on Labor Day?
Probably, yeah.
It's America.
It's America. And yeah, it's been a fast August, I think, for me at least. I don't know about you.
I
It was
don't know. I don't. Yeah, maybe. That sounds right. Fast August.
feels like a fast August. Like it's already the 23rd.
What would if you had to get if you didn't know the day? What would you have guessed it was? You guessed.
I would have guessed it was probably like the 15th or 14th.
Okay, so you're like it's like your clock is running a week faster. That's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
It's not too far off.
I don't know. I think overall, just kind of seeing the price run up here and then seeing kind of where everything's going as far as Lightning. Man, I hope we figure this out before it gets above 100K. I don't know if we will.
I don't think we get to 100K before we figure it out. So that's what I think.
Yeah.
I think these things need to be figured out. Otherwise, what Bitcoin is worthless, in my opinion. So
I was super bullish on Albi, but after this week, I don't know now. Just seems like a lot of people are having issues with it.
yeah, but you tend to be pretty reactive about this kind of stuff when Albi's like invite only beta.
Yeah.
This is very new software they're testing. This isn't like this is their final version that they can never update again. And
That's true.
people
Yeah,
just have to deal with it forever and their company will die. They're going to change it and it's going to get better.
Hopefully.
I think
they'll move there fast.
Yeah, I think
I mean, right now we still have voltage, so.
I mean, think about how many people are using this product already that weren't.
True.
That's a huge win for them. That's big. That's a big deal.
Maybe we just all use Lightspark.
I think you should use Lightspark.
Yeah, I can't afford Lightspark. Did you see that? He
It's like $30,000 a month.
Did you see that he had like $10,000 Lightning? Did you see that?
Oh, that was Coinbase. Yeah, Coinbase added like $10,000.
I think it was 10,000. I think it was. Hang on, let me
withdrawals.
see if I can find it.
$10,000 Lightning withdrawals.
Did they drop it in here? Stackers didn't drop it in here, did they?
I saw it. You could go recent or it's showing you the top stuff you want.
Oh yeah, there it goes right there. Coinbase can now send up to 10K instantly via Lightning Network. Has anybody tested this?
I don't know. I mean, no stackers have that much money on Coinbase, probably, I would guess.
I need to see proof.
Of course they can do this. Why wouldn't
10K
Yeah.
on Lightning.
Dude, a lot of
What's the biggest app you've ever
I mean, Zaps are not sending money to yourself. People transact in very large amounts on Lightning pretty regularly. There are channels that are huge on Lightning. They have like 3 Bitcoin channels.
This size though? I thought that the limit was somewhere around like, I don't know, at least a couple or maybe 3 at most, maybe 5 at most. 5K?
No.
10K? Wow, okay. Well,
I think 10K might be that's like the low.
That's a low end?
Yeah, that's like for most people when they create a Lightning channel, they're creating like 10K Lightning channels.
So this is actually on the Lightning Network, right? This is not just like some back end database, right?
No, this is paying to your Lightning node from Coinbase. Lightspark is dealing with real Lightning. They're not an exchange or anything.
I think I was the only one that had a comment on it. I was like, wow, no one else. I guess I'm
pretty sure I zapped that, but
all the stackers are just kind of like,
who cares?
Not impressed.
It's great for Coinbase customers and it's good for the Lightning Network, but you know why it's 10K? It's because they're of like the reporting requirements for anything higher.
I thought the reporting requirements was 5K in the US.
I think it's 10.
It's 10. Oh, well, that's good.
I would guess that's why it's 10K.
I'm sure they know all of that stuff anyway without even the requirements, right? AML requirements.
No, I think you have, they definitely have, Coinbase has all your KYC stuff, but they would have to do, puts an extra reporting burden on them to send a letter to like the government that you sent this much money or whatever.
On Lightspark side or on the Coinbase side?
Coinbase's side, probably.
And Lightspark side doesn't have to do that? Or would they have to do that?
I don't know. Maybe it's part of their monthly take.
Yeah, anyways, I thought that was interesting. All right, well, stackers, go out there this weekend and give Well, actually, don't do that. I was going to say, yeah, give Albie a try. Get more people using it. If you get the invite code. And we'll come back next week and talk about it.
Zap.